everyone. My name's Emily Clark. I am a mom of three, Air Force vet, and a proud member of the LGBT community. I want to start out my story of self with kind of going way back to my high school days and kind of what started me down the path of being a teacher. So, when I was in high school, I kind of was just meandering around. I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. I never was really one of those people who had a set, like, oh, I want to be a doctor or a firefighter or anything like that. I kind of just never knew. I bounced back and forth from one thing to the next, but never really deciding on one thing or another. Then, once in high school, I got into a bit of trouble, wound up in a juvenile detention facility, which I know seems really shocking, but it kind of led me, it was the start of what led me to where I am today. So, got in some trouble, wound up in juvie, ended up having a teacher in this juvenile facility who turned my entire life around. She really gave me focus for my life. She counseled me on what it meant to be a positive member of the community and just how she kind of led me in the direction of more positive choices. So that was kind of the first instance of me saying, like, you know what? She made a huge impact on my life. That's something I want to do for other kids. And so after that, I kind of had my sight set on criminal justice. But I was like, criminal justice isn't enough. I don't just want to be a cop or anything like that. I definitely know I want to work with kids. So that's when I came to want to do education. And I minored in criminal justice on my bachelor degree. I hope to one day do exactly what she did, work in a juvenile detention facility, teaching kids who have just found themselves on the wrong path in life. Um, it was honestly kind of mind blowing how much she changed my life. I was only um, I was only there for about 2 months, and in that 2 months, I mean, it set me on this path. And then, kind of what added to that is I have a 6 year old son who started kindergarten this year. And when he started kindergarten, I was so disappointed in the system. And I'm like, okay, this needs to change. I don't like the curriculum being used. Everything is so boring. So I guess my story of self starts with all of that happened and then goes right into my story of now. My story of now is my main focuses are becoming an educator to for two reasons. The first is for innovation. I feel as if schools, I won't say all schools, many schools are still as old and as boring as when I was in school. There's not a whole lot of innovation going on. Not a whole lot of people I feel like care about innovation. And that is one of a huge part of why I became an educator and a huge part of why I chose to go for my master's degree, because I think innovation is seriously lacking in our education system. And that is one thing that I hope to make a change in the future. Hope to have a small hand in making teachers more innovative in the classroom. Another thing in the classroom, again, because my son started kindergarten, and everything was mom and dad this, mom and dad that. My son comes from a household that has same sex parents, and there was absolutely nothing for him. There was nothing that said guardians, parents, anything like that. Everything's mom, dad. So when it came to him and his family, he didn't really have a place in some of the lessons that were taught. It was a conversation I had to have with his teacher about why we aren't doing this. And that is another thing I would love to see change. I plan on hopefully in the future creating and holding my own training programs, training workshops for elementary teachers specifically. I feel like there's a lot of information out there for the higher grades, but there's not a lot for elementary because people think it's something that shouldn't be spoken about in elementary school. When in reality, a lot of kids these days do come from LGBT homes. So that is another really important aspect for me. And then moving on to the story of us, I hope to be someone who inspires my classmates and the people around me, teachers, other educators, just to be a little more accepting, because there are families out there like mine who are not accepted in a lot of places. My family hasn't always been accepted in a lot of places, and that is something I hate to see in the classroom. Children not being accepted or their families not being accepted, whichever it may be. So that is my story. I can't wait to work with you all, and I can't wait to be inspired by all the ideas that y'all have. Thank you.